All right, here we go. Get these leaves out of here, pine needles. Don't want to lose these fasteners. Dust storm in there. Get these out of here. First things we're going to add to the list is windshield wipers. This thing's been sitting 7 to 8 years, so I know those are going to be cooked. I'm just looking at them. I think they're toast. The HVAC vents and the intake here actually have a chance of getting the air coming in once this thing gets going again. Definitely a big head start for it. Looked like some little pieces of pine nuts or something from the squirrels got in here. Look how nice this is coming out. I'll show you guys. Pretty stoked about that. Let's get over here. Right here. Oh, the brake module. Let's get this brought back in. Probably a nest in this air filter, I bet you. It's got the nice little hand thumb turn ones, so you can get this open too without having to have a screwdriver. But the screwdriver part is there too. So let's see what we find in here. And when we get underneath it, we'll see if that cigarette is still dangling there. That was there the whole time from whoever owned this before. We had it towed on the highway here, and somehow this cigarette was hanging, like a half cigarette by the oil pan. I don't know. I don't smoke cigarettes. Nobody in the household here smokes cigarettes. So, quite a mystery. Okay, I think we got it out. Let's set this down so I have both hands. And see how we're getting this part up. This tire's been becoming part of the earth for a while. So, okay, let's try it. Hang on, I have to get something to set you guys up. 1 second. This will work. We tried using this Milwaukee vacuum that I got to vacuum those pine needles up, but it was no match. It couldn't handle the pine needles. It clogged in like the first 3 seconds. It's a bummer. So this size diameter hose, too narrow. I'll have to take the hose off and unclog it. Use it for other things. It's apparently not. This isn't the specialty. It's okay though. It's a pretty good vacuum. Just don't use it on pine needles. Apparently. Let's see if it's a decent booster stand for the camera. Doesn't seem to be good for that either. Alright, 1 second. Let's see this part. That's better. What we're focusing on is this air box because I want to see what's going on with that. This thing's been sitting for 7-8 years, so good chance. Could have been a rat nest or something in here. Let's see. Okay. Actually, not too bad. I bet you this is full of dust. We'll blow the air box out while we're in here. We'll get the outside first. Try to get this part out. So this thing, we'll clean it preferably over to the side. Let's do that now. I'll get you guys here. Let's see what much dust comes out of this thing. Pretty good. Well, we're gonna be getting a new air filter for it, so I'm gonna get a pen and paper out and start writing this down because this is gonna be a lot more than just a few things I can remember. And while it's fresh right here in front of me, good way to do it, guys. If you're going through a car yourself and getting it going and such, probably get yourself a pen, notepad, and paper. Let me go grab that now. Alright, we got ourselves a notepad and let's continue. So let's see, I'll show you guys what we're gonna write in first. If I got a nice fresh can of this, we're gonna take the airbox part off so we can clean the mass airflow sensor while we're here too. Going through, nice, thanks for commenting, Joshua. We're going through this 98 Chevy Blazer I got about a month ago. It needed head gaskets, I believe. I think just one bank was bad on it, so I think it might have enough compression to actually start. So we're going through it and seeing what it needs to actually be drivable again. So we got a post-it note paper pad and a pen here. So we're going to start out. It needs wipers. That was the first thing. Windshield wipers. Okay. Then air filter. Okay. And yeah, what else? Gonna need fresh. So this thing takes 4.5 quarts of 5W30. So let's write 5 quarts, 5W30. And I already have oil filters for my van. It's the same exact engine, so it's gonna take the same oil filters. So that's a win-win for me. We got the same stuff for that. So oil with filter. It comes out better if I have it on something like, let me get a book. Here we go, guys. This is a solid book. So I have it laying there. It does the trick. Okay. It's a good book too, so it's a double plus. So let's keep going. So we got oil filter, air filter, windshield wipers. We're gonna need coolant, green coolant. I'm gonna be putting a water pump in this. Serpentine belt. Serpentine belt. Okay. Because the lady told me it got coolant on the belt and it started shaking like crazy. That means the belt got stretched by the coolant being contaminated on the belt. So getting one of them. Idler pulley. And serpentine tensioner. Okay, let's go on to the next page. We'll take this one and stick it. Just stick it there, because then when we keep going, we'll just stack more on top of it to make a list. Okay. I'm gonna get timing chain cover. Which has the gasket with it. Timing chain, and timing chain sprockets. Timing chain set is what we call it. I think that's what they label it in the parts stores as. So that's just while we're in there. Oil pan gasket. I know this thing needs oil cooler lines, and you'll see when we get under there. Oil pan gasket. Not sure if it needs rear main seal. There'll be a inspection cover on the transmission that you take out with a flat tip screwdriver. You go around it and pry it out, and you can look in there to see if the thing is bad yet. So we're not going to write that yet unless we confirm it. Because if we don't have to take the transmission off, then we won't, you know. I did do it in the van, but we're out here in the yard. We're not in the garage with this one. And if it doesn't quite need it, we got the wind, my bad. If it doesn't need it for sure, then we're gonna hold off on writing that in. And if it needs it, we'll put it in, no problem, you know. I just want the most priority things done on this to begin with. And okay. So next, since we're doing water pump already, we were gonna add radiator fan clutch, because I recommend to change both at the same time if you're doing it, because you can cause premature wear on both. Okay, good to know. And we'll try to get OEM if possible, and if not, the best thing is like the best aftermarket ones you can get. So there's that. Oh yeah, Abu needs a battery. We have an old battery for the core, so that's a plus. So that's good. Oh, brake fluid, because we're gonna flush out all this old brake fluid. Who knows the last time this stuff was flushed out? All the fluids are getting changed on this, definitely. This thing's been sitting about 7-8 years, and high chance that that stuff's all breaking down and not doing what it's supposed to be doing anymore. Power steering fluid too. Power steering. Okay, fluid. Then we're gonna add this one to the other one underneath it. It's gonna start to be a pretty good sized list, but you start just chipping at it as time goes on. That's how I do it anyway. Not saying that's what you guys do. It's just what I do. So spark plugs. See how this starts to add up, but it makes sense doing this stuff. Spark plugs and wires. Ignition coil. Ignition coil module. ICM for short, so we'll write that in. Possibly the distributor is okay. We'll go with cap and rotor, distributor cap and rotor to start. And what's nice is I don't have to buy that because I already have that from my van. I got a fresh new cap and rotor for that because I got a whole new distributor to go in, and I already bought the cap and rotor not too long ago from the van, so that can just be transferred over here. It's kind of nice having some parts commonality between this and the van. I'm really happy about that. And so power steering fluid. We'll go through and flush out all this old stuff gently. We're not doing this stuff violently, because if you don't want to let the pump go dry. So what you can do is take the return line off the power steering pump, have somebody turn the key while you take the return line off and put it into like a catch container for the old fluid, and then all that old spent fluid can be captured to be recycled, you know, at your local recycle center, wherever you can go with that. So get that out. Oh, we could put a power steering inline filter. 'cause that's what's going on in the van. Makes sense putting them on everything. They're not that expensive. Filter. And this is going to be over a while. I don't have a big budget to buy all this stuff at once. I know this thing needs head gaskets. So we're going to go with head gasket. And intake manifold gaskets as well. Call it the head gasket set. Then inline, no, sorry, thinking of something else. Intake manifold gas. See, this stuff starts, it helps me. I don't know about you guys, but this, just for me, in my opinion, this helps me to map out what I need if I write all this down, because there's so much stuff, it's gonna not be easy to remember it all. There's a good chance I'll miss a lot of things if I don't do this. So add that to the stack. Let's go with a fuel filter. Probably a good idea to change that. She told me, the previous owner, that she already had a fuel pump changed in this recently before it died out. So we'll let that stay. If the fuel pump works good and I don't feel like anything, we could even test it on the fuel rail to see if the pressure is coming through after we change the filter. So got that. Oh, I'll show you the interior. There's some things we need in here. We'll have to find it at a junkyard most likely. Let me get this stuff out of here so you guys can see some more. There. I know it needs some stuff in here. Some of the stuff's kind of boogered up and missing. So let's turn the camera to that. The ground's kind of unlevel. Bear with me. We're gonna get this thing to sit. That's not close enough. I want to actually see what I'm pointing at. I don't know, I'm gonna be showing you it needs. That's better. I'll get it on the other. Okay. Sure. Doesn't want to look into that. Okay, so I see some spots where I can clean better too. Pine needles got in these door tracks as well, so we'll take care of that too. But we're gonna log everything inside of here that we can see that is missing or needs attention. I know there was something about this door keeper spring being missing or boogered up. Keeps shutting and not staying open. So we'll take care of that too. I'll grab you guys and pull you in here to get a better view. Hear me better and whatnot. Quite a few things to go on to get detention in here. Let's get you guys sitting in here. Alright, well, let's put you right here. This looks better. So, right away, you can tell this knob, we're going to need that. We're going to write that in. I think I got it to sit. That's pretty good. Alright, so HVAC selector knob, or possibly if we can get the whole unit at the junkyard or somewhere that has all these same features and same plug-in, let's just put that in. So HVAC knob selectors. Okay, we're writing these in here. This needs attention, the rear wiper, slash rear hatch, buttons, the hold down's totally got to figure something out with that. Okay, so we wrote that in. Surprisingly, the windshield looks good, so I'm pretty happy about that. What else? Oh, this thing right here, I'll show you. This thing's beat. Like, I'll have to figure something out about that. Whoops. Let's see what I gotta tighten. You guys gotta tighten this up. Bear with me one moment. This thing was all spun off. So the head's all spinning. There we go. Now it's nice and tight. And this part just needs more tight. Perfect. No, it's not perfect. What's going on here? Alright, we'll figure it out. This thing was what was sitting in here. Looks like somebody sat on it and it's been beaten. It's just all messed up. Like snapped right off here. So let's see. Okay. If I could try to get that at a junkyard, the whole thing, I bet you a ton of these are all busted up. Maybe there's some type of solution out there. So rear center console lid, that's what we're gonna call it. We'll add that to the list. That's better. And this is just the outside and like the engine bay so far. We still got to go underneath it because supposedly it's missing the catalytic converter, but that was from when the person bought it originally in Kansas. So this thing, high chances the converter is okay and it was already replaced, but we're gonna confirm that. Or we'll just put it up here and spin it around. How about that? There, because the dash seems to work okay. It's flat. Everything else seems to be all like lopsided and weird. Let's see if we can better view. Guess that's pretty good. All right. So it looks like they did get the alignment done because the steering wheel looks pretty good. I'll show you. Nice and centered. That looks good. My truck over here, that's got the pitman arm. I tried to cheap out and buy a Detroit axle one, I think it's called. And when they went to do my alignment, the guy's like, something's wrong with your pitman arm. They're like, what do you mean something's wrong with it? It's brand new. Yeah, something's wrong. It's like they didn't make it centered. So my steering wheel, the only way they could get the alignment done, the steering wheel is canted. It's like got like about like a 10-20% cant to it because I bought that Chinese pitman arm. All the other parts I went through Napa and like Rock Auto and stuff. So you try to cheap out and cut corners, you got to go get it again. So basically, to correct that, I have to get a better pitman arm and change it, and then take it back for an alignment again. So you didn't save no money after that. Kind of sucks. Okay, that's what was going on. This thing was all loosened up. AJ Zamora, what's going on, brother? Thanks for saying hi. What we're doing is we're going through this Blazer that I got about a month ago from Marketplace for about $300. We're going through it to make it road ready, making a checklist to get it road ready so it can the white vehicle. Just needs some TLC. Not sure about that CD player. Or is that a tape deck? That's a tape deck. Oh, yeah, it's a tape deck. This thing has a tape deck. I thought that was a CD player the whole time. It's definitely not a CD player. I don't think any... I know I don't have any cassette tapes sitting around here. I don't know if you can really buy them traditionally. Oh, look what we noticed. We got radio knobs. OEM stereo knobs missing. We'll write that in. So I just noticed that. Oh, it does have a CD player, but it's built into the radio. So, OEM stereo knobs. Or it might be even be time to just upgrade it to an aftermarket one. But we'll write that in. We'll know more once we get a battery in this as well. But this is just from like just looking at it, you know. Let's oh yep, this thing. We gotta look into getting the keeper. There's like I think it was written down on it. There's supposed to be like a stopper spring or some type of assembly. It looks like something's missing in here. In the guts of this. So let's add that. Good thing to make note of. It looks like the driver's side ones are okay because that one's not trying to shut. So the problem is the door just keeps trying to shut on itself. It doesn't stay open. So door. I'm trying to think of what they call that. The door hinge. Opener. Or what do you call it? I'm gonna write the symptom. Door tries to keep. Door won't stay open. Let's write that. Now, I know I'll think of what it's actually called later on when I don't have the notepad in my hands. That's just how that works. Let's get this set up for try to, so I don't have to keep holding it. That was the whole point of having this thing. But it's pretty comfy vehicle, I think. Okay, now we got hands free. So door won't stay open. Passenger side. Front passenger side. Okay. Okay, looks like we got RPO codes still. That's good. They didn't tear the label out for no reason. For some reason, my van, they tore the label out of it. So I don't know what the RPO codes are. I think I can still somehow look it up through the VIN. I have to look more into that. Something I want to make a note of, I just noticed here. Something that looks kind of weird. Looks like they put a shock screw or a deck screw. Looks like a deck screw holding this door handle in. Looks a lot like a deck screw. So we'll look into. Yeah, somebody's been in here. Look at that. So we'll look into. It looks like the keepers that are supposed to be along the arm, the armrest that's built into the door. Looks like the keepers are missing or broken. So we're going to make a note of that as well. So we just have to keep going. Keep adding this stuff, because these little details, you go through and fix everything, and the vehicle is a million times better. And this, instead of just leaving it and pretending it's not there. So let's go with the door skin. Door skin needs attention, passenger side. We'll just call it that. Oh. Passenger side front. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and add the vacuum ball canister. That's all. That's under the hood, but I know this thing probably needs it. Then the PCV line, PCV valve itself, and then the PCV valve hose. Because I changed that on my van and that thing was dry rotted. So this one's going to be, it's the same vehicle engine. Hose. Okay. Then, oh yeah, we'll add upper intake manifold. Like the whole thing itself. Because these are plastic. Just get a whole new unit. Okay. What else? Upper intake manifold. Okay, lower intake manifold. The bolts. Also, we need the cylinder head studs as well. Because those are one-time use, so when we do the cylinder heads on this, it's going to need new head studs. Okay. Anything else I can think of? You find out a ton more once this thing actually we get it going and do a test drive. It's gonna need a much. I know it needs tires. Let's ride tires. Whole set. 2 tires don't even hold air, so set of tires. We'll take the tire size down. Let's go do that right now. Let's put this in the glove box. Probably a good idea. I'll just keep it out here in the glove box, because if I take it in the house, it'll get all mixed up with other stuff that's not relevant. So if I keep it out here, I think that makes more sense. So like I said, this door just keeps trying to shut on it. So I got the old battery just propped in the door jamb to keep the door open for some ventilation. So let's take the tire size down. And let's make sure before we go ahead and write all these tires are the same size, because some people, I don't know. Sometimes the tire sizes are different on something because somebody doesn't, I don't know. For some reason they put wrong size tires on stuff. So this one says, I'll write it down. LT, so it's a light truck tire. 10 ply is what that means. LT 235 / 75, and it's a 15-inch rim. So there's probably pretty good options for those tires. And let's look at the other tires just to make sure. And we might not even put those size tires on, bigger. Okay, it looks like that's safe bet to say that's what the tires are all on this. Let's take a look at the back. Let's unlock it first. Okay. I mean, it could use a detailed cleaning. That's kind of a given, but looks like the headline is in good shape, surprisingly. Let's take a look at the back. Okay. It's looking good in here. We're gonna let's check the seat belts. Yeah, they work. Just gotta yank them super fast and hard to get the thing to lock out to make sure. Yeah, okay, they work. Let's try the front. So you want to know if this stuff works before you get in like some kind of close call or an accident. Oh yeah, that works good. Because I know especially the front can be the most worn out, because people use those the most. Makes sense, right? All right, yeah, nice smoother traction, solid stop when I yank it hard. Just get a view from here. Okay, looks like the rear view mirror works. That's a good sign. Let's go back up to the engine and take a look there. It's nice. All these things, if I can just leave them in the glove box, because going on this vehicle anyway. Okay, and while we're here, we're gonna make note of, well, we don't have to make note of it because we're gonna take this one in anyway and just get the same thing back. So We already wrote down that, so let's continue. Actually, I gotta check if the battery hold downs are okay. I think this is what this is right here. This is the battery hold down right here. Actually, I think it's missing the little block. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a little, basically a big piece of plastic that has like a little wedge thing on it. So we'll write that down. Get you set up here to see. So battery hold down. Okay. We can put this air filter back in. That's going to stay in there until we get a fresh one. But wait a minute, we can go ahead and clean the mass airflow sensor like we were talking about. So there's a lot to go on with this, so I could get all over the place with it. And we got just a little bit left to get out the pine needles. So let's get the pine needles out while we're here. Get it in there. Just when you think you got it all, there's more coming out. Okay. While we're here, we can go ahead and get some, go in here with some brake clean and toothbrush. Clean this up, and then we'll let it dry, and we'll put white lithium grease on that. That'll get this thing so it's a lot less sticking as much. If you wait too long doing that stuff, then you go to try to open it and it's just stuck open, and you got to try to figure out getting it open. So we're going to do that right now. Yeah, we'll go from back here. Alright, I'm gonna get those things out. Yeah. I forgot that we don't have brake clean right now, so we're just gonna be using WD-40 and scrubbing it. It's better to get one like that, and then we can go ahead and clean it the right way. I'll probably use that Dawn Power Wash on it, honestly, once I get more of that as well. We're just making do with what we got for now. So let's get in here and see what we're doing. So your key's good. That's pretty good. So we'll have our pen and notepad ready. If anything, we notice any more things we have to add to the list, we'll put it in there so we can do that at a moment's notice, so it's not a big deal. So the main thing that holds these up every time is they get all gummed up or even corroded. This one's not corroded, it's just gummed up a bit. So you get this stuff scrubbed up and cleaned, it'll work a million times better. A lot of times you don't need to buy a whole new thing like this. Usually they're fine. I haven't found any time where I had to buy one. I've seen some pretty gross and like gummed up ones where if you don't put any effort into cleaning it, then yeah, you could just buy a new one. If you just clean it and lube it up, it's good to go. Unless it's been like an accident, because then it gets all janky and like bent and whatnot. So while that's sitting there, we're gonna do the mass airflow sensor as well. So let's turn our attention to that. Right here. And we make sure we use the right cleaner for this. We don't substitute anything else. This is the only one you're gonna use. Doesn't have to be this brand, but this kind of thing though. So let's get this off. Nice and easy to get to for a change. If we're working on that Astro vein in there, it's not that easy to get to. It's kind of easy, but not like this. Not this easy. We'll carefully pull this pigtail out. Okay. And then for some reason it's got some type of brown sludge residue. We'll take this over to the concrete. That way we're not dripping all the residual down in this engine. Okay. There we go. So these little wires are really delicate. You don't want to just start being rough with things in here. So let's go ahead and clean that up. We'll spray it out this direction. Try to see what this brown sludge stuff is. And get the camera in here. See what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, it looks like some kind of oil type stain. We're definitely getting that out of here. Let's go ahead and get this part. Basically focused on those little sensor wires. Then we can come back through. I think to safe bet, probably just do it downward. That way anything we just flushed out doesn't come leaking back in if we flip it upside down. So again. That's probably plenty. We'll let this gravity drip down. We'll set it by the tire on the truck for a bit. It's not too windy, so it's not going to get slammed on the ground or anything. If it was really windy, I wouldn't be doing this. Okay, let's get that done. And probably like let it sit a good amount of time. That's not, just let it do its thing. Okay, let's move on to let's try to get to the undercarriage is what we're trying to do. See what to add to the list from under there. Probably about here. We have to lift it kind of high because that tire's all flat. It doesn't hold air either. Okay, that's not a big deal. I get the other part of the handle so you can get more leverage on it. Alright, this will make it a lot easier. And just be careful if you're doing this yourself so you don't like slam your jack handle into your door. getting closer to being able to put the ramp under it. And while I'm jacking it, I'm not putting any part of my body under this until it has jack stands or it's under those ramps. And you make sure everything's safe. You don't just trust it without checking it. Okay, let's try and put the ramp under it now. See if it has enough clearance yet. Just make space first. Being that the jack's in where I'm trying to put the ramp where you would normally, inverted backwards like this. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's get it backed up as much as we can to it. Let's try that. Let's lower it down and see what happens. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. I can live with that. Let's do the other side now. Here we go. Probably get a better view on this part. That looks pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna shut these doors so we don't get anything pinching the hinges and causing the misalignment of the doors. That can kind of happen. Let's go. I'm gonna jack her off the frame member off the center. And we can for extra safety, we're gonna chalk our one good tire with the wheel chalk. It's got a high chance of it not moving, but it'll have a higher chance if we just put this wheel chalk for extra measure. I mean, this is an actual wheel chalk, but you can use like a piece of wood, whatever you get your hands on, kind of thing. So, back of the tire. And we're gonna put another one in front of it too, so that way it has no play in going forward either. This one's just a piece of 2x4. Just like that. So it's locked in there. It can't go forward, it can't go back. Especially if you're underneath this thing. A lot safer doing that. And then we just get this up in the air enough so we can get that ramp in. Then we'll have enough clearance so we can get in there and look at what's going on with the engine area. Just go slow and take your time. Make sure you're not going too fast if something slips, and you might break stuff or hurt yourself, so take your time. Okay. Let's see if this goes in. Almost. Oh, we're going to let it down because it's slipping over. Let it down slowly. Not a big deal. This is why you take your time. Make sure everything's correct. It's real slow. At first, when you started jacking it on this, the platform looked okay, but then it was slipping. So I'm not going to lift it anymore. We're going to reposition, lower it back down, reposition it, and then lift it again. So we don't want it slipping out while we're trying to put that ramp in. It's like slipped to the edge of it, and we noticed that before we kept going. That's why you keep looking at it. Don't just blindly jack it up and assume everything's good, because it's not. So let's get this repositioned and do it again. We were so close, but not quite. This should be right on, I think. Right, let's try this now. Oh, just a touch, some smidgen more. A little more. Almost there. It just keeps trying to slip on that rail. So I got another jack. We'll put it right next to it, so I don't have to lower it again. We're just about there. Here we go. Now we could even try to push this one in more if we get it elevated enough. Yep. Oh, not quite. It's almost. Let's see if we can just get this in here. That doesn't matter anymore. Okay, we can. Let's try it now. Let's get this one positioned back in. And move and get it just a little bit more. It's just so close, guys. So close. It's nice having a few jacks for stuff like this. When you only have one jack, it kind of limits you. There we go. See that? It's getting that elevation. I think we're good. Let's see. Oh yeah, it should be. There we go. I'm gonna lower it down. Try to get it centered as best you can. Okay. And remember, pull our jacks out one at a time. I think we got that wasp nest in this Blazer to deal with too. So if we see it, we'll take care of it. Doesn't seem like it's a very active wasp nest. Okay, here we go. Get it open over a bit so when you lower it, you're not having your handle intersect and scratch your door all up. I mean, this one's kind of beat up, but we don't want to make it worse, right? There we go. She's good. The ramp was there, so I wasn't too worried about it. Obviously, right? Okay. Now I think we can take a look under the engine. Or under the engine. Thanks for commenting, Thomas. Appreciate it, brother. So here we go. Let me grab a light and we can get under there and take a look and see what's going on with this engine. We'll see if that the little surprise is still there. Let's see. Alright guys, we got the light. I had to do that stuff yesterday with the lawnmower for a friend, so I had the light in my bag there. It wasn't where it normally was, so I found it. Let's continue. I'm curious, guys. Okay, that bee. It's like, what are you doing down here? I think it's by the right passenger side headlight. Wow, guys, the cigarette. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hang on. Hang on, guys. right there. That was behind this, hanging this whole time, guys. It's hanging by like a couple threads. For some reason, this cigarette stayed here when we drove going like 60 on the highway, about 20 miles with a super high wind. Somehow this cigarette didn't get blown off. Because the previous owner was like, of course, cigarette fiend. So apparently their Blazer somehow caught a cigarette and held it all this time. It's still there, guys. Pretty crazy. Let's see. It's like hanging by a thread. Well, I just barely touched it. It's all it needed was that little bit of touching it, and it's a Lucky's. It's Lucky's brand. That is a Lucky cigarette. That's pretty cool. Not for cigarette wise. I don't care. I don't smoke cigarettes. Previous owner apparently did. And to each their own. Okay. So let's take a look around in here now that we finally can look in here. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna come around and from the other side so I can get you guys in. All right. There's a light. Okay. Ooh, this looks like it's a rear main seal. I'm going to show you and tell you why. It looks like this U-joint for the front drive shaft's kind of janky looking too. I don't know what's going on with that either. Let's get a look at it. Here. Yeah, it looks like that U-joint. Oh, I guess it's right. Okay, from the angle it wasn't. So that's a relief. It's just the way it sits. But this rear main seal, let me get the light in here to show you how it's all soaked. Look how wet that is. That needs a rear main seal, guys. Because the inspection cover is supposed to be here. I didn't even have to remove it. It just wasn't even there. Let me get in position so you can see it. I don't know what all that fur is on it. It's like a cat or insulation or something. Yeah, you see how it's wet. Yeah, one moment, guys. This tire, this side that I'm on, the tire is flat, so with the ramp, it's still, the clearance is kind of hard to turn my body, so just bear with me. Get you the good angle to see what I'm talking about. There, I think you guys can see that. Hang on, that's better. So it's pretty soaked in there. So rear main seal come. We'll add that. That means we gotta separate the engine and the transmission apart to do that rear main seal. Not too big a deal. And then while I'm in there, I can change the other seals that are in the vicinity as well. Okay. Transmission right here. Doesn't look like the shift shaft seal is leaking. But since we're gonna be in here, we'll change that too. It's like a $5 part. Pretty cool to see that cigarette was still dangling. That's the paper that's left for it. I tore it down. It was just barely hanging on, guys. Okay, let's look at this engine. So I know it said it needed oil cooler lines. Let's confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's needing an oil pan gasket. We wrote that down because it's an oily mess under here. Right there. It's just like it's weeping bad, so it's not quite gone where it doesn't hold fluid, but it's not really there where it's gonna hold it either. It's ready to go. So let's keep going through it. I'm gonna get on the other side here. There's more clearance too. So stand by while I shift myself to the other side. A lot better clearance on this side. We can get a better view of what's going on in here. Okay, so it does appear to not have a catalytic converter. Oops, that's pointing at me. Because I know in the notes it said it needed one. So let's trace the exhaust here and we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. So if you're coming off the engine exhaust manifolds, I don't see anything in between. It looks like there's supposed to be a cat right about here. Let me show you. Right about here. It looks like it's just a piece of straight pipe just bolted in there in the section where the cat's supposed to go. So for some reason the cat's missing. Pretty sure it's gonna need the cat to run correctly, but we'll find that out when we get to that point. But yeah, so I guess I can confirm that they were not lying when it said it didn't have a cat on it. It's not a deal breaker for me. This thing still has potential. We just get a new cat for it if it all else. It's not a big deal. But you can see they just bolted in a piece of straight pipe with some of these muffler clamps. Let me get my light down here. Yeah, it's just straight pipe right there. There's no cat. Good news is the transfer case doesn't look all leaky or anything. We'll definitely go through that. We'll have to add to get transfer case fluid and the gaskets for them and the seals. We'll change all that while we're in here. So right now we're just making the list of going through it. This is from Kansas, from what I understand. It doesn't look too bad for the rust. Coming from upstate New York, where I originally came from, this looks better than some of the brand new cars sitting on the lots back in New York. Honestly, for a '98, this looks pretty good. Not as nice underneath as like my Astro and then my '98 K1500, but pretty good. The Expedition came from Nebraska, so that needs rocker panels. Other than that, it didn't stay in Nebraska its whole life, so it doesn't need a whole new frame. Because some of that stuff in Nebraska, depending on which part it came from, it can be totally rusted out like New York. They heavily salt certain areas, apparently. And we'll take a look at that rear diff stuff too. But I was curious because I wanted to know if this thing had the cat or not. Apparently it doesn't. So that they weren't lying on the list. Not a big deal. We'll try to get a really good one so it doesn't throw codes or affect the ability. Because I know when you try to get the cheapest ones, it's like they don't work correctly. It doesn't appease the computer. Or a high chance of it not appeasing the computer. So let's take a look right here. I think, no, those are the transmission lines, but I got a bug in my mouth. Okay, there's the starter. So it looks like it's leaping oil all around here. A lot of oil leaks. Bad gaskets, my best bet on this. Okay, so there's the front differential. We'll get new front diff fluid, new gear oil, whatever it takes. We'll do our homework and make sure whatever we get is the correct stuff. Okay, yep. This has little torsion bars too. It actually looks skinnier than the Astros, surprisingly. Pretty similar though. Let's get more up here. I know it said it need oil cooler lines. I'm just trying to see where they actually sit in reference to the oil pan. And then find the oil filter as well. So I know it's on like this side on the van. Like right about there. There-ish. So let's check. Okay, there's the oil cooler. That's the oil cooler. So this has a remote oil filter because the oil filter on the van goes in this exact spot. But this thing looks like it was factory or aftermarket. I'm assuming factory for like a remote oil filter setup. And this is on the driver's side right here. And you can see where it bolts in. And there'd be gaskets in there. So those gaskets must be shot. Obviously, if I was going to go in here, in my opinion, I'd be changing all these gaskets. And anything that's right there in front of you while you're there. So I'm curious where they put the oil filter. I'm trying to follow the lines. So it's a little bit of a different setup than the Astro. I mean, obviously. Same engine though. Let's go up top and see if we can find where the oil filter is put. Because I was assuming it was in the exact same spot, but apparently it's not. Because they have an oil cooler line set up. So bear with me, it's tight. I gotta drag myself out of here. Okay, we're just about out. Alright, pretty cool to at least get a chance to look under there. At least we can find out it's like the Titanic under there, because I would have been pretty disappointed. Probably more disappointed. Okay. So let's look around. So it comes from the driver's side, from what I was gathering. For that oil filter. Trying to maybe this air box coming out would help. Oops. Okay, that's okay. Let's get this air box out. Okay. Bunch of Kansas dust falling. There's the steering gear. So bright, it's hard to see. Okay. Pretty easy to get to the steering gear box on this. I like that. It's like they did a pretty good job making use of the engine space for the engine bay, I think. So you just took the air box out. It's not even held in. It's just kind of pressed in with some rubber grommets. So if you're changing steering shaft stuff on this, it's right there in front of you. I mean, you kind of got to get through this air box stuff, but you're pretty much right into it once you start taking these air box hoses and lines out. pretty quick access. So there's the exhaust manifold on the driver's side bank. So when I do spark plugs, that's right there. That's pretty quick to get to them. The back ones can kind of be more of a pain because you got the brake booster kind of in the way, but that's okay. We could work around that. It looks like we're getting some green cheese going on in this ground strap here. So let's get the paper pen out. I'll go take a seat in the back here and write that down. Okay. Let me get this other door open. This thing's cooking in the sun already. And I need a battery or to figure out the emergency release for the inside of the trunk to get that open without the battery. Like the trunk release override from the inside. Because I have that done already in my Astro van. So I have it hooked up so there's a piece of a cord going through the trunk. And you just loop it around the little latch on the inside and you could pull it open without the battery needing to be connected from the outside. So you can open it from the inside too. It's kind of nice. So let's write these things down before we forget everything. I gotta grab the pen. But let's set this up. With that tire all boogered up, it's canted when it sits in here. It'll sit flat. Keeps on trying to rock over. Tip over. Oh, something to note, I just noticed. It looks like this had like a type of cover, or it might still be a thing. Let's see. I don't know if it's something to grab onto. Oh, it does. It was work. Look at that, guys. It does work still. Let's see if it holds. It's like a cover your groceries kind of thing. Privacy. Just gotta. I'll give my hand free and I can see if I can get it to latch. That's kind of neat. I haven't seen something like that. It actually works good. It has all the spring tension. It's not like it's blown out like you touch it and it just flops out and doesn't retract. So it's pretty cool. Let's try it again. I thought it came from the back to the front, but it makes front to come from the sides. It makes sense to come from the sides. We'll just try it again with one hand. Kind of. Then we'll see how this is supposed to hook in. Or it looks, I'm not sure. Not really sure how that hooks in, or if something's missing or broken. I think something's messed up with this, the hook down for it, but we could figure out something to make that work, or research what it's originally supposed to look like first. See, this is like the cover your groceries little thing. And it has like an access port right here too, apparently. Okay, somebody liked their Phillips head screws and like their deck screws on this. It must have been like carpenter type person. So that's kind of neat. It'd be neat once we get a way to get it to work correctly. It doesn't look like it's that hard to figure out a way though. But they're kind of cool, guys. I've never seen I never had owned a Blazer, but even been in one before even buying this thing. So I didn't know that it had that kind of thing. That's kind of neat. Then all the guts of it are right behind those screws in that panel. So, okay. So let me get the pen out and we'll write some of this stuff down. I still have to the oil filter in this thing because it wasn't like completely obvious. I know it's like usually it's pretty quick to find it. So got some hornets flying. I'm not sure. I'll have to look up a diagram and find it, I think, or something. It's not completely obvious. And the clearance isn't the greatest right now because we have the tires. One of the tires is completely shot, so it's not sitting right. And this doesn't have a lift kit in either. Like when I get under my van, it's got a 4-inch lift kit with bigger tires, so I can get under it pretty good even without lifting it up. This thing, on the other hand, not a big deal. Just needs some TLC, guys. That's all. We'll check at the fuel caps there. It is kind of dusty. We can come over. We got the shop air hose here. Let's just blow that out while we're here. It was just an experiment to see if I could get it up with that high lift jack. Didn't work so good. So we went ahead with the regular jacks, which is not a big deal. Just need a little bit more hose. One moment. Get this light off. It's so bright. It's so bright it's hard to see. As funny as that sounds. There we go. I don't want any kinks in it. Here we go. And then the rear wheel wells, we can get new metal to replace the rusted parts, then that'd be good. So here we go. Got a better chance of debris not falling in it if you do that, guys. It still looks kind of gross, but the loose gut stuff be out of there. And then I know these door jams, some of them had some stuff in it. Let's try this one. Just going through it. It makes it easy to check for anything that's messed up if this stuff's out of the way. Wow. Got a lot of, especially these pine needles, guys. This stuff's acidic. It'll start to cause corrosion if you let it sit forever in here. I must have parked it under a pine tree for a while. They didn't have any pine trees where this was sitting, so I think this stuff's from Kansas. But it's been sitting in Colorado for like the last 8 years. kind of shocked at how much stuff just came out of there. Oh, got a whole bunch on the floor mat. Not a big deal. We'll push it off. Blow the dust off the phone screen. It's like a couple millimeters thick. It's been kind of neat. Oh, look at that. The armrest is all nasty too. Let's see. And this stuff gets into the tight little tolerances of things, like you're trying to shut things or for switches and stuff. You blow out, kind of get the stuff out of the switches and things like that, because that stuff can cause obstructions. And something simple like that could be the cause of something not working right, rather than it being an actual wiring issue or a switch or that kind of thing. Because I know this one, you guys are going to see this one. This one's pretty gross. Stuff's still falling out of it. There's a lot of gunk in this thing. Here we go. There we go. You never know what you're going to find in these kind of things. Look at all that blowing everywhere. Oh, seat's all gross too. It's okay. The rest of it will have to get done a different day on it, but I did the compressor just enough for one fill up thing. But most of the stuff got out. It's that one. But certain spots like that, they need a little higher pressure. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna try to think of. Let me grab my pen. We can write these in. We can put this mass airflow sensor back in too. It's all sprayed out and cleaned and ready to go. But here's our pen. So yeah, that hornet nest still in there. It's not a giant one. They like that passenger side headlight enclosure for some reason. So I'm gonna write what our discoveries are, what we need for this thing from looking at the underside. So it does need a catalytic converter. It's not there. They weren't kidding. But it looks like they were driving it without it. So for what that's worth. It's a lot better to get under it with those ramps, I'm telling you that. So we got our tire size. Whoop. So that's what we got for just recently added. We got a whole stack of these little notes added up so far. So we'll keep adding. Just get you guys so you're stationary. That's better. So catalytic converter, it's gonna need that more than like For some reason they're driving without it. I'm assuming it had check engine lights. We didn't get a chance to start this and do anything like that with the battery in it. So we'll have to confirm what they wrote. I'm gonna write it in here, catalytic converter. They probably had like a clogged cat or something, and then just took it out, and they straight piped it. As you saw if you were watching earlier, when I pointed where it's supposed to be, it's just a muffler clamped in there instead of it being there. Just a straight pipe muffler clamped in there. So something's going on with that. I'm thinking in my head, if what do you guys? I think I should lift this thing at least like 2 inches, like another 2 inches, and maybe add the tire size of like one big, go a little bit bigger on the tires, just for a little bit better ground clearance. We're not trying to like do rock crawling or anything like that. So we'll add it's probably like a 2 to 3 inch lift kit. We'll put something like that. That's on the back burner. That's not priority. Again, this thing driving and being reliable is more priority. But once we get those things, those wrinkles ironed out on it, we can do stuff like that. And then the rear wheel wells, they got that little bit of cancer right there. If you can see right there. And mostly right there, yeah. Right here, guys. So, what do we call it? Having a hard time thinking of the word for it. I know the rear wheel wells. Replacements for those. Okay. Rocker panels. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know why I had such a hard time coming up with the word. Because that's probably where it transitions into those wheel wells, right in that little corner. It's like what they'd call the cab corners on an actual truck. Well, this is an SUV, so it's a little bit different terminology. Same concept, but it's just a different name. It looks like the muffler and all the rest of the exhaust is okay. It's either they had a problem with the cat, or somebody stole the cat, or somebody's like scrap metaled the cat, or so for some reason the cat's missing. So rocker panels. Probably another pack of 6011. I'm gonna add that for my stick welder when we weld the new cat back in. I already got a bunch of 7018, so I don't think we need that. Depending on how thick the metal is, I don't even know if I could even run some 7018 on it, because if it's too thin, that'll just burn right through it. Need some more things here. Oh yeah, look into the grocery cover thing. We'll see what's going on with that too. Oh, got another thing there. So figure out the grocery. Figure out a way to make, or excuse me. Trying to think of the words here. I'm gonna research what it looks like originally, and then try to model with what we got there, or see if we can get the parts to make it work like original, if that makes sense. So I'm going to write research the grocery cover. Cover system so it can to fix it. And basically the only thing it really needs, based on me looking at it, is just the way that it secures when it's run across. Because it sits in the retractor thing where the little station where it's supposed to go anyway. So I'm not worried about that part. We just want to make sure it stays secured when we hook it. It probably has supposed to have like a little hook and a clip. It doesn't look that complicated at all. So that's the in there. Um, oh yeah, oil cooler lines and gaskets. We'll throw in engine mounts and transmission mounts while we're there too. Um, I know when the cylinder heads come off, they'll have to get all the guts changed in them more than likely. Um, we'll worry about that part once we actually get to it. We're not going to write on stuff if we don't actually know right now. So we'll hold off on that part. It looks like it's got a roof rack on it, guys. I didn't see that. See that? That's kind of cool. See what? Oh, something on that. This right here. I think it's like double-sided tape you use, right? To get that. You scrape off the old stuff. It looks like they put a sheetrock screw. Of course they did. They put a sheetrock screw through this door panel. On the back right about here, there's a sheetrock screw sticking it, holding it in. But the center and the rest of it's kind of just hanging there. Because it looks like the double-sided glue tape stuff got compromised and it's just kind of flopping. So we're going to put in double-sided tape. Heavy-duty double-sided tape. Because we want this done once and done, you don't have to think about it again for a very long time. Double-sided tape, heavy-duty kind. For the passenger door trim piece to re-secure it so it's not all janky looking like that. And then we can take that sheetrock screw out from whoever. So double-sided tape. Yeah, it looks like there's a hornet's nest there in the passenger side wheel well. I knew they were in the passenger side headlight enclosures, so now they're in the wheel well as well. Luckily, I didn't disturb it when I was just in there. So double-sided tape for the passenger door trim piece, exterior trim piece. Okay. And then, I know there'll be a lot more once we actually get to test drive it. But just even doing this so far, I got a lot better idea. I still have to crawl under the back side of it, and that looks kind of challenging with it up on ramps because the back end's kind of canted. I'll show you. It's kind of tight. I know I'm not that big of a dude, but it's still kind of hard to wiggle around in film. But we'll try it. I'm just taking a breather and writing some stuff in. It's super hot out here, but I'm sitting in the shade, so that helps. I'm just trying to get get the things written down that this thing's going to need so we get a good baseline. And I know for a fact how it works is once you start tearing into this, you find a whole lot more that you're going to need. But I have a really good idea of what to get because I just worked on the same engine on my van for the last year. The 05 Astro van, it's got the same engine as this thing. So pretty much everything's the same. The airbox is a little bit different setup, but the rest of it's pretty much the same. So we're gonna think of, I bet you the windshield washer sprayers. I'll write that down because those are always bad. I always, especially if they've been sitting, either that or the lines. My van I bought, and that was being driven all the time. They just had to be unclogged. So what I did is I took some brake clean and Windex, basically Windex, just run it through the system. Like open up, pull off the little nozzles, and then put some Windex behind it. And then if it's still not going, you can just try to put shop air through it. And then if that doesn't work, just replace the nozzles. I haven't had anything where I've had to replace the nozzles, honestly. They always just seem to be clogged. The nozzles are fine, they're just clogged. Even that '08 Trailblazer I had, and that thing I had it in 2016, and that thing had clogged nozzles. And that's sold to me from the dealership. Like they didn't even go through it and make sure the nozzles were working right. So just a thing to keep in mind. It's very, very common thing that those clog up. And then the motors. So I'm going to put down here on the list to check the windshield washer sprayers, nozzles. The sprayer nozzles. And the lines. Okay, so we do that. And then windshield washer fluid pumps. So yeah, the windshield washer fluid pumps. And luckily that the windshield's all immaculate looking. We don't have to replace the windshield, so I'm pretty happy about that. The pump motors, so we'll add that too. So, oh yeah, rear main seal. Not excited about writing that in, but this thing needs it. I already did it on the van about 3 or 4 months ago. And I got a transmission jack and all that, so it's not such a big deal. It'll definitely help once we get the new tires and such on this. We'll hold off on doing the rear main seal until we get this thing going and with the new tires on it. And hopefully with the lift kit on it, it'll be better. It'll be better for getting the transmission jack in there to clear everything. Because we'll put on four of these ramps just like we did the van. And then we'll drop down the transmission with a transmission jack. So rear main seal. And then while we're in the transmission region, we can add the output shaft seal, or the one that butts up with the torque converter, the seal, the torque converter seal. That's what we call it. Just while we're there. So we'll add that. Transmission fluid and gasket. And filter. And then the 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 shift solenoids. GM shift solenoids. We want to use the GM ones. It's 1 to 2 and then 3 to 4. Okay, 3 to 4 shift solenoids. And it does have a hitch on it. I'm kind of, I don't know how a whole lot about if they was doing anything about towing with this thing. Excuse me. I think that the the hitch doesn't look like it was used a lot. This isn't like a heavy duty truck, so I'm not too worried about the transmission. We'll find that out once we actually get to drive it and start it up and whatnot. Um, oh, rear diff. We'll write all this stuff in. So, front and rear diff. Fluid changes. Transfer case fluid. And since we're going to have to take out drop the transmission to do the rear main seal, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the transfer case as well and change those seals. So transfer case seals, we'll just write it as a broad term. What else here? Probably can't hurt to do some U joints. We'll write that in there. Oh, rear wiper blade. Let's write that. So that thing's definitely gonna be cooked off it. Windshield washer fluid. I mean, the list is starting to get pretty big, but a lot of these things are cross compatible with the items like washer fluid and oil and stuff. So it's not that big a deal. Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on here with this gray stuff. If that's like the primer, like a scratch was going on, or if that looks like Bondo. I don't know what was going on there. Oh, rear differential gasket. And we still we can check that right about now. Um, see if it needs rear wheel seals, rear axle seals rather. We'll check that right now. I'm already in there. I changed the bearings as well. If it, and you can usually tell right away if we can see. Let me get you guys in here. What the heck? Looks like it needs a new. The base plate's rotted out, so we'll add that. Something new that we just discovered. So that base plate's rotted out. I think these are. Yeah, these are just disc brakes, so easy to work on, like fast anyway. So we'll add that. I was kind of surprised to see that. Let's go around the back here and look underneath while we're here. The rear shocks look relatively new. Okay, so this is some other stuff to add in. So, looks like the rear stabilizer links. And then the rear stabilizer bushings. Those actually look pretty good. Oh no, the other side doesn't. One side looked okay, had me kind of convinced, and then I looked at the other one. I'll show you if we can see it. Okay, there it is. Right to the left of that rear shock. If we can get it to focus. It's kind of dry rotted, so that's seen better days, so that'll get changed. I don't know what's going on with these tow light or trailer light harnesses all dangling. It looks like they, what the heck? Let's take a look at that. Okay. What? They didn't even heat shrink it, guys. They did like some butt connectors, and then what, dude? What? It's supposed to be on there. What is this? They capped it off. They spliced on this stuff. What? Oh, wow. Let's get back a little bit and see that. That's residential wire nuts, guys, for like your housing stuff. Not for your cars. Yeah, and they didn't even heat shrink the tubing. So what I would do when I go through this is we'll go to the point and we'll check out a new wire harness for the tow hitch thing. And we're not planning to do any real heavy duty towing or pretty much any towing with this thing, but just because. Okay, we're back. So since it came this way, see there you can see where before it gets all jankified by whoever did all that, whoever's handiwork this stuff is. Look at that, guys. And it's like fossilized dry rotted, so I don't know how long it's. Wow, it looks like they used. It's got residential wires right here, guys. In it, in this pack of stuff. It's like crispy. Like this stuff's been on here a while. This is somebody's handiwork. Wire nuts, guys. And then when they did their splicing of the wires, they just used some butt connectors, which is okay. These connectors look okay. They didn't use any heat shrink though. And then this stuff's not okay. They spliced in with some residential stuff. I thank the Lord that they didn't mess with the stereo. The stereo is still the OEM stereo, because if this person touched that, then we have to rewire it all basically. But apparently this stuff's not working right. I highly doubt this thing plugs in and works, or it works like when you get it pitched a certain way so the connection makes contact. Wow. Okay, so now we know we're gonna make note of that. What do we call this? The rear I got like a brain lapse here thinking of the terms. So sorry, I had something else go messaging me. Not relevant though. So yeah, we'll add that to the list. Kind of seeing wire nuts on here. The residential wires all looped together. Wow. Well, the reason why, from my understanding, that you don't use residential wires on your vehicle is the way that the wires are made, the type of the wires. The wires that are traditionally like in these wire harnesses, they're all little strands, and they're made to handle the vibrations of a vehicle. And the ones like that residential stuff right there, let's zoom in, right there, with the wire nuts and stuff that whoever did that, those are hard, like solid wires, and they're not meant for the vibrations. So they get brittle and they can just basically crack and crumble inside the jackets even, and you wouldn't know it. And then you'll start having all these intermittent electrical problems. And then, and there's nothing in the vehicles that you're supposed to use wire nuts from the residential stuff either. So that person just jankified that harness. So we'll end up going through and getting that written in. We're gonna write that on the list right now because that's a big thing to have taken care of. Not a big deal. I mean, that's really an afterthought right now, but to get this thing all back up to, you know, to better better running condition and stuff, we'll add that. So the trailer light harness, we'll call it. The wire whip. Okay. All right. And then the rear stabilizer. Rear stabilizer bushings. And then the rear stabilizer links as well. And the more we go through it and we actually get this thing going, we can put it on like a list of priority of what needs attention the most for drivability and safety. Because we have a budget and we're not going to have enough to do everything all at once. So, excuse me, we'll go through and based on priority of what needs it the most. We're going to add the rear brake Can't think of the word for it. Backing plates, yeah. The rear brakes, the backing plates. That one was rusted out for some reason. And based on looking at the way the rotor looked through that little hole in the backing plate, it looked pretty scored up. So I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see how it feels when we actually get a chance to do all that. But we can write in there, inspect the rear brakes. We'll just I mean, I'm going to inspect the front too. I haven't had the wheels off to even see any of that either. So I'm curious to see what we come up with if we get in there like that. Yeah, so add that. I mean, there's not really that much to do on this thing. It's just catching up on a lot of maintenance. So I think we got a good start anyway of a list. Real better idea of what's going on. So yeah, we do need a catalytic converter for it. So hey, I mean, it's pretty good. It's got the engine and transmission, all the drivetrains there. Catalytic converter is not a big deal to get that. I mean, we didn't get to test drive it yet, so we don't know if it needs stuff like wheel bearings or anything like that, or if it's got differential wiring or anything. So there's still a lot more. It's like the tip of the iceberg of stuff, which isn't a big deal. Definitely not an impossible task because this is the same stuff that's going on with the van. Well, just with the head gasket stuff. That's the main concern that this thing has. And I think it only went on one bank of cylinder head on the passenger side. It looks like that side looked wet, so it's not a big deal. got one thing done. We got the mass airflow sensor cleaned up and reinstalled. And then one thing I gotta make a note of is one of the airbox screws is missing. So we'll write that in. It's kind of something from a junkyard more than likely. Airbox hold down screw. Okay, let's continue. Let's go over here. Oh, I should add radiator. I think that thing's screwed up too. It doesn't have any antifreeze in it. So inspect the radiator. I'm just gonna go with changing it because I don't want to like actually put fluid into it and then it just pisses out and I'm wasting my fluid. You know, we'll just go with radiator. Okay, let's keep going. So like I was saying, this is the passenger side cylinder head bank. I'm kind of zoomed in too much. Okay, try that. Okay, as you can see, these hoses right here, they're all wet. So it appears to me that's where the cylinder head gasket went, and it doesn't look like it affected the driver's side. But I mean, we're gonna change them both. This side looks pretty dry. I don't see any staining. And there's our distributor right there. And I wrote to get a new tune-up thing for a cap and rotor, which I already have here, so I don't need to buy another one of them. One of the few things I don't have to buy. And we just cleaned up this hood release latch, so we're going to try that out right now and see if it's better than it was. Once I get this prop back in. Okay, let's try it. Let's try to pull the release because it was like barely engaging. Oh wow, I think it works good now. And I didn't really do a whole lot of effort into doing this one. So it releases now, guys. Well, it just did. Yeah. There. One thing done on it. A few things. And there's the cigarette butt I kept talking about that fell out. It's just dangling by a thread. We'll throw that away. Start putting things back. Oops. That's what's taking up the engine. Run it on bike. Nice, thanks for commenting on bike carbs. What do you mean by that, Michael? You're talking about the Blazer? Hang on, we're gonna over here for a minute. Hot out there. How's it going, guys? Alright, we're going to call it here. Thanks for stopping in and watching. Stay tuned for more stuff on the Blazer and this van. And all the other projects we got going on and coming up. Alright guys, till next time.